Hi guys, welcome to Fierce and Pretty. Han here. So, I'm still on my summer vacation. This morning it rained. I spent a lot of time indoors. But now the sun is out again. It's really hot. I came to the garden, watered my flower meadow. I have to pick up the water from the magic well, pump it out to keep the flowers happy. And I've been feeling kind of disconnected, kind of lost, kind of wondering everything on my spiritual path, if I can call it that. I don't know what to call anything anymore nowadays. So this is just a rambling discussion on a lost seeker on their spiritual path, along with a tarot spread. So I took my Star Tarot on my lap. I was sitting on the chair with the question on what is my spiritual awakening all about? Like, what's happening? What's the reason? Where is it going to? I don't know. Just to organize my thoughts in some way. And these cards were originally on my lap. So on my left thigh there was the Fool card, the Starseed. And underneath it came the Emperor. And to me that spoke really powerfully about the kind of, and especially because I chose this deck, and here the Fool card is the Starseed. And you know, sometimes I do cringe a bit to the very new agey ways of explaining all this, but for the lack of better vocabulary, I find myself using those same terms in the midst of all my confusion. And I realized how the Starseed, how the Fool kind of saw the society being such a joke. Like how all of us are like little ants carrying, you know, bits and pieces of trees into our home and just building and building and building. When you think about, if you live your life, first you go to school, you study, you need to get an occupation, you need to do, and then you give yourself to the work, and you work and you work and you pay your taxes and you buy more stuff, you buy your car, you buy your house, you pay the mortgage, you make some kids and you pay and you go to sleep and you wake up and repeat and you live in this endless loop. What the society wants us to live in. I guess when you wake up, when you have the spiritual awakening, like the Starseed here, it is a hard truth to see all that. And then you feel crazy and alone because, you know, everybody else is just happy being a little ant. And you are like, what the fuck? What should I be doing? How can I break out of this loop? How can I get, you know, where do I want to go? And how do I get there? And at least for me, then I've been stuck in my head trying to figure it out how I can change from being an ant to, you know, something else. Just free myself from the Emperor's, you know, tight grip. And then on my right thigh I turned 2 cards. There came this beautiful Empress with the light shining in her heart. She's surrounded with mushrooms and flowers, and her heart shining with this bright light. And underneath that came the Knight of Crystals. So it would be the Knight of Discs in a standard deck. And I realized that what I've been trying to do is connecting to more of my femininity and the feminine side, because back in, it's not long ago, it's like 3 to 5 years ago, depending on how we count. I used to be like really expressing my masculine side. I was not a bodybuilder, a fitness competitor. So all my spare time after work and my daughter went to gym. How to work out, when to work out, and what to eat. And I was repeating and repeating. I had no other thoughts. It was just me thinking about working out, or me working out. And then when it was time for the competition diets, it was me working out, me looking at the mirror, always feeling too fat even though I was skinny as a skeleton. And at the evenings I was just watching YouTube where people, crazy videos on people eating tons and tons and tons of, shit, like eating a whole menu of McDonald's, or eating 10 pizzas, or eating all the ice cream you could find, whatever. And that was my life. I had to be strong. I had to do everything that was needed to reach my goal. And I was really not thinking at all what's happening inside me. Nothing whatsoever. And now, I'm all here. I'm all in the Empress. I'm connecting the best as I can with my own femininity and exploring these feminine deities, looking into ancient myths, trying to understand something. And I feel lost, and I feel alone, and I know I'm not the only one who feels this. Talking to you guys about it makes me feel a little less lost and a little less alone in all of this. And I think that's why it's good for me to spend time here alone in the cottage, which I never have the chance to do, and which I was complaining about before during springtime. And here I am now, spending every day by myself. And that's when these things start to bubble out. And having the Knight of Crystals underneath the Empress made me think about how slow the process is. It can't go fast. This is not the place for the Knight of Wands. It is not a place for Knight of Swords. It's not intellectual. It's really moving slowly forward. And I don't know, picking up the pieces as I go. And I find it funny how here with the Knight of Crystals, she's holding the glowing ball, like a crystal ball in her hands. And here I feel in the Empress card that she has figured out how to plant that shining crystal ball in her chest, in her heart. And I guess for me, spending so many years in a really fiery mode on just blasting forward and doing what was expected, doing my work, doing my workouts, competing and trying to win the trophies. And for what? What are those trophies? They're nothing. I guess the only thing I learned was some self-respect that, okay, I showed myself that if I set my mind onto something, I can do it. But I think that was the most that I got out of it. Well, I got a fancy body for a time, but now I've ruined it by changing my eating habits a lot and enjoying life, enjoying things like wine and beer. So nothing lasts forever, I guess. The final card to this reading came the Star card. It gave me instantly a lot of hope. A lot of hope for like, all this actually has a meaning. No matter how slow it is, how alone I am in the woods, how lost I feel. in that weird forest of, watching. It's just perfect image. Because the forest, there are galaxies in that forest, and she's alone there. And that's just amazing depiction on how I feel. And I guess now it's just time for me to try to grow some patience and accept that I don't know if this all will take more months or more years, because it's been going on already. It's been going on for a few years now. And I kind of hoped in the beginning that something would get crystal clear in my mind. And I know I've learned bits and pieces. I've had experiences that I actually can't talk about here in YouTube, so I feel like I have been shown in occasions what we truly are inside. Kind of, you all know probably the saying that everybody keeps on saying, that we are souls living in bodies, having a human experience. And I've been shown that, and I feel that I know that. But still, what I haven't figured out is how not to be an ant. I guess I could just, quit my job, jump. But at least not yet do I have the courage for it. Because when I have to think about providing for my family and whatever, I need to be smart. I need to take it slow. I can't be impulsive, even though that would feel good. That's a very natural thing for me to do, just be super impulsive. But some things are too big for that. But the star card, in the end, is just, I guess, here reminding me to keep on going, keep on believing that at some point I might not be as lost in the forest anymore, that I might find whatever I'm looking for, even though I don't know what I'm looking for. Actually, this tattoo here, I don't know if you can see, it says believe. And it was one of the first, actually it was the first kind of spiritual tattoo that I took. And I didn't even know why I took it, because I've never been, like a believer in God or anything. And there is an arrow. And the arrowhead is pointing at me. And I knew even then that I have to believe in me and try to find the things from within rather than without. I don't know what was the point of all this. Maybe if there are other content creators who would be willing to share their thoughts on, feeling lost on spiritual quests, or have you ever felt like that, and did it ever go away, or how did you find your way, or are you as lost as I am, or am I just cuckoo alone? I don't know. I'd love to see a VR or hear your thoughts in the comments. But for now, this little fool is kind of lost, and I've been for a long time. And then, because this is just such a random rambly video, I gotta show you guys this. It's a tumbled piece of amethyst, and I've had a few crystals earlier, but I've never really been able to connect with them in any way. I always thought they were pretty, but I never really understood how people work with crystals and what are they meant for and what do they do with them. And then my daughter really liked my crystals, and I gave them all to her. But then when I was again shopping at Tarotpuoti, the little tarot shop that I filmed a little video a while ago, and I got me a book of Aleister Crowley and some incense, and the owner, Ville, he put this amethyst in the bag as a freebie. And I was like, yeah, Great, now the daughter can get one more. And I didn't think about it anymore. But yesterday, I was spending the day alone. And I had this amethyst in my hand. And I had a really powerful meditation, like really deep meditation. I was able to connect with this stone. And I realized what it was for. And I felt us connecting and me transferring my wish on what I wish for it to do. To me, this is a stone of protection against my fears. The way I connected with it in the meditation is that I would definitely, if I ever get to fly anywhere again, to bring it with me in the airplane, to have it with me and see if it really works the way that I intended it to work after our meditation together. It was so powerful that I could have never imagined me having a connection like that with the stone. Never. But I don't know. It was gifted to me, and maybe I was just meant to have this one. So even though I can't yet believe in everything, I am just learning. I am just figuring out what to believe and what works for me and what doesn't. Because I ended up making one of this connection. Then I just need to try if it really works, if it really helps me. And if it does, then there is magic in the way that I did that. Then there is some kind of hope that with the star card that I am going forward and there is a meaning to all this. Even though it might not mean anything to anybody else, and even though everybody else might think I'm totally cuckoo. Like if traveling with a stone like this could make flying easier for me, I think then it's totally worth it. But I guess that's all that I had to say at this point, and I wish that if there's anybody watching who feels as lost as I feel, that you will know that you're not alone. I'm here too, lost in the forests of Finland, trying to find my way. Until next time, bye guys.